All right.
You're the lucky. I am so nice. I made him give this back to you.
I was gonna give it back to her anyway.
Just being a bully.
Okay, listen up. All eyes up here. All eyes up here. Thank you. All right. We're not doing the quiz today.
Aww.
I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but I didn't have time. All right. So you're lucky, but you've got to keep reading. Okay, you've got to keep catching up. Because for this weekend, we're going to read 18 through 20. Chapters 18 through 20. Make sure you make a note of that.
I'm struggling to keep up because I can't even count that high.
All right? We're almost done with the book, okay? We've got a few more chapters to go. What I'm handing you right now is not a quiz. It's just to see what you know. Okay? It's not for a grade. It's just it's for me to know what to teach you next week, okay?
I have a big cup for my big personality. I love that cup. It's my favorite cup ever.
You said Starbucks?
No, I bought so much. A lot. You can do this.
I can do this, watch.
Bigger than the 32.
I'm a
It's
pro.
pretty big.
Dude, man. I completely skipped forward and fifth period just to use
I know. I know. I do. I have a very good student.
I'm gonna use clip next.
This is like, I think this is zoomed in. I mean, I don't know, it looks like it's zoomed in.
Yeah.
So do you think it is?
It's recording, right?
Yep. I'm trying to zoom
Yep.
out, but it's not.
You have to move back or something.
Do you want me? Oh, I was gonna take this.
Yeah. It's just to see what you know. If you don't know, take your best guess. We're not going to do a lot of talking. We're just going to write for right now.
Oh my god, that
Oh,
When you're done, you can pass it up.
I didn't answer one of those.
All right. Is there anyone still working? Okay.
I'm down next day. Hmm? Zero? All of it.
Said my hands.
All right, and I am missing some work from some people. Make sure you are checking STI for your grades to see what you are missing. I can't keep track of everything. I do know I'm missing a couple of raft projects from earlier this week. So make sure you check STI. All right, your grades should be almost up to date by
I
now.
love you, Miss Wilson.
no love.
All right. So we're going to do some discussion about the chapters, and I want everyone paying attention and participating.
I appreciate it.
If you're not paying attention, we will start taking notes during discussion. All right? So everyone should be participating and listening and contributing. Okay? So we're going to start with some questions. So in the chapters, we met quite a few characters, right?
Yes.
He's met some girls. He's met another girl. Who did he go on a date with?
Sally. Hayes.
Sally Hayes. Sally Hayes. What was this date like?
Bad.
Bad. Why was it bad?
She talked too much.
Maybe she talked too much?
Yeah.
What did they go do on this date?
Watch it. Watch it. Yeah, like play.
Yeah, they went to the movies, play. They where else did they go?
Skating.
Ice skating, right? They went ice skating. If you remember from earlier,
That's where the big fight came in.
yeah, that's where the big fight came in. If you remember from earlier, Holden took the ice skates from his mother. He finally gets to use the ice skates. Seems kind of weird to take something like that when you're going to New York, and he finally gets to use them, right?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna get out our books. Get out your books. If you don't have it, share with a friend.
What page?
We are gonna go to page 111.
I'm just gonna look up somebody's.
Dude, he even met a pimp too. Can't forget about that. Got beat up by a pimp.
All right, this is in chapter 15. He's been talking to the nuns. You remember the nuns? We talked about them.
Do you like him?
Yeah, he did kind of like them.
My book is ghetto.
All right. And he starts talking about Romeo and Juliet. Have you guys all read Romeo and Juliet? Most of you have. It's required freshman reading. I had to read it as a freshman. I didn't always understand it, but I had to read it.
I know they died. But
Yeah, they all die at the end.
I know.
So we remember those characters, right? We remember Romeo. He falls in love with this girl that he can't have, right? So towards the bottom of the page, the second to last paragraph on 111, Holden starts saying something about Tybalt, who's Juliet's cousin. He says, "That's right, Tybalt." I said, "I always forget that guy's name. It was Romeo's fault. I mean, I liked him at the best in the play. Old Mercutio, I don't know. All those Montagues and Capulets, they're all right. Especially Juliet. But Mercutio, it's hard to explain. He was very smart and entertaining and all. The thing is, it drives me crazy if somebody gets killed. Especially somebody very smart and entertaining and all, and it's somebody else's fault. Romeo and Juliet, at least it was their own fault." Okay? Why would Holden bring up Romeo and Juliet? What connection is there?
Then the nuns
Books
like
that you
asked
read.
him what books.
Yeah, but why would he start going off about, oh, it's their fault for doing this?
Maybe no love connection you can make.
Yeah, what if, in Romeo and Juliet, Mercutio dies, right? He gets shot, killed, whatever.
Sure.
Okay? Who does Holden know that has died?
Brother.
Allie, right? Allie died from cancer at a very young age. They were very close. Romeo was very close with Mercutio, remember? So is there a connection there somewhere between them? Between Romeo's connection with Mercutio and Holden and Allie?
Yep.
What kind of connection is there? He's talking about blaming. We've talked a little bit about blame. Does Holden, yeah.
He's blaming himself because there was one time he didn't include Allie in the game. And he
blames himself a little bit for Allie's death. It's really hard for him to deal with. Romeo blames himself maybe for Mercutio. They're kind of at fault, or at least they feel that way. Let's go to 117. There's another Shakespeare play that's mentioned in chapter 16. Hamlet. Page 117. Alright, in that whole page he's talking about Hamlet. Has anyone read Hamlet or heard of it?
Heard of it.
Heard of it? You've probably heard of it. It's a very popular Shakespeare play. There's a movie out. I think it's a little older. It's a really good movie. I can't think of her name that plays Ophelia. But anyway, Hamlet is about this prince, and his father's the king, and all of a sudden his father dies very mysteriously, and his mother marries his father's brother. It's really strange. Okay? That's what happens in Hamlet, and Hamlet doesn't like the fact that his mother has married his uncle. He thinks his uncle murdered his father to get the crown, to get power. That's what a lot of people in Shakespeare do. They try to get power, try to get something from someone else. Okay? We hear a little bit about Ophelia, and Ophelia is the girl in Hamlet that Hamlet falls in love with. She's very young, very innocent. She actually kills herself in the play.
Ooh.
She goes a little crazy. Okay? So, it kind of made me think about Holden and his relationship with women. Hamlet has a relationship with somebody. Romeo has a relationship with somebody. He keeps bringing up all these literary references to relationships. How do Holden's relationships end?
Badly.
Badly, right? Sally Hayes, it didn't go so well, did it?
No.
Will there be a second date?
No.
Probably not. I don't know, if I were to go on a date like that, I probably wouldn't have a second one either.
But you said you loved him though.
I like the book. I do like the book. Alright. So that's the reference to Hamlet, so that you'll understand a little bit more about it, especially if you haven't read the play. It's very weird to see that in there. Alright, we're going to go to 121. 121. Alright, Salinger writes some of these big paragraphs, right? They're really weird. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time following him sometimes because the paragraphs get so long. He just goes on forever. But on 121, as the page previous, he's talking about the museum, right? Holden went to the museum to go visit who?
Phoebe.
Phoebe, yes. He went to go visit his sister. Good. So, towards the middle of the page, he's starting to talk about birds. The birds nearest you are all stuffed. Does everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Can someone start reading?
Birds nearest you were all stuffed and hung up on wires. And the ones in back were just painted on the wall, but they all looked like they were really flying south. And if you bent your head down and sort of looked at them upside down, they looked in an even bigger hurry to fly south. The best thing, though, in that museum was that everything always stayed right where it was. Nobody moved. You could go there 100,000 times, and that Eskimo would still be just finished catching those two fish. The birds would still be on their way south. The deers would still be drinking out of that water hole with their pretty antlers and their pretty skinny legs, and that's squaw with the naked bosom would still be waving that same blanket. Nobody's be different. The only thing that would be different would be you. Not that you'd be so much older or anything, it wouldn't be that exactly. You'd just be different. That's all. You'd have an overcoat or on this time, or the kid that was your partner in line the last time got scarlet fever and you'd have a new partner. Or do you have a substitute taking the class instead of Miss
Aggletinger.
Thingamajigger?
Yeah.
Or you heard her mother and father having a terrific fight in the bathroom. Or you just pass by one of those puddles in the street with gasoline rainbows in them. I mean, you'd be different in some way. I can't explain what I mean, and even if I could, I'm not sure I'd feel like it.
Thank you.
He doesn't feel like anything, he's lazy.
Is he lazy?
He doesn't, like, he's like never in the mood for anything, so he's like I won't say depraved, like lazy, mostly depressed or something. Because he doesn't feel like doing it. Because you think he'll just probably get in a more depressed state or something.
So maybe Holden's a little lazy, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't stand him. It's like, get it together, man. Come on.
I don't see what's the point. Like, he'll be talking about something, we'll get into it, and then he'll say something, and then just completely talk about that subject.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Like, he'll get off topic.
He'll get off topic. That's what he does. That's what stream of consciousness is. We talked about that. We wrote about that. Sometimes you get off track on one thing. You start talking about something else.
Gets off track on a lot of things.
So when he's talking about these birds, these stuffed birds, you've seen them, right? When you go hunting, you get something stuffed. I don't know. My brothers do that. But he said, I wish, or he said something like, everything stayed as it was. Everything stayed as it was.
Except you.
Except you. What can you conclude about Holden from that?
He wishes everything was the same for him.
Maybe he wishes everything was the same. Anything else we can conclude about Holden from wanting things to stay the
He
same?
doesn't like change.
He doesn't like change. How do we know that?
Because he said everything stays the same.
How do we know he doesn't like change? From looking at what he talks about, and looking at what he does, how do we know he doesn't like change? What have we seen from him so far that shows that?
He doesn't try. Doesn't make count.
Doesn't give an effort.
He keeps doing the same thing over and over again.
He keeps doing the same thing
Smoking.
over and over again. Keeps going to bars over and over and over, and it doesn't matter, you know, how bad it was. He's just trying to get something to stay the same. What about people? Do people stay the same?
No.
No? He's lost someone, right?
Yes.
When you lose someone, that changes your whole family dynamic. Your whole family. Especially if it was someone close to you. So do you think that affected his family?
Yeah.
Yes.
How? How would that affect his family? Say that again?
Everyone's depressed and
Yeah, everyone's depressed and down.
Wish it wouldn't have happened.
They wish it wouldn't have happened.
Maybe they blame themselves.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't you blame yourself if you have cancer? Like, oh, if they had cancer, I mean.
Yeah, cancer, they really can't.
But there's
Do
always
anything.
something you wish you would have said, or you wish you would have done, you know?
you had a kid and you're somewhere?
It'd be horrible.
I mean, I would feel horrible, like,
That's the one thing I know I could never recover from. I'd never be the same again. I'd never be okay.
I don't think you could understand until you have a kid to know.
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
That's what my
but
mom is. always
Absolutely.
telling me. You don't understand that.
You agree, Bailey. It's totally different.
It is. It's really hard. Okay? I've lost all my grandparents, and when Grandparents' Day comes around, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't. It's very hard for me. It's the one day of the year I do not like anymore because my grandparents aren't here. So it affects things, right? Allie's death affects everything with Holden. He really blames himself sometimes. He really beats himself up about things. If Allie were here, things might be better, right?
yeah.
How do you think his parents would treat him if Allie were still there?
I probably wouldn't be shipping them off all the time.
They might not be shipping him off all the time. Maybe they wouldn't be so hard on him. Maybe. Holden doesn't have long-lasting relationships. You see one character come in like Sunny, and then the next thing they're gone. They don't come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sally Hayes, the date was a disaster. Not going back to that. No second date. Right? They don't last. They don't stay. Nothing stays. If we had to create a friend for Holden, what would that friend look like? Yeah? What else? What would this friend be like?
Smart.
Smart? Why would you say smart?
Because he likes smart people.
Likes to
likes
have
smart
intelligent
people?
conversations.
A lot of fun.
Humorous.
Humorous?
Sense of humor.
Good. He likes having intelligent conversations.
Patient.
A very
You'd have to be patient
person.
to be with Holden.
Not a fun.
Not a phony.
Do you think that's a cop out? That phony thing? Do you think he just puts it out there?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy just to label everybody else.
Yeah.
Kind of thought about it, you know.
Yeah. He doesn't really want to admit what's wrong with himself. Does he ever tell us that he's wrong?
No.
He thinks himself as his own person.
Yeah. He thinks he's fine, but the rest of the world isn't. The rest of the world is wrong. And they have to fix it, not me. They do. It's never me, it's always them. Right? He never really calls himself a phony, but he lies all the time. He does weird things. Doesn't make any sense. Does he have a role model?
No.
When you have a role model, what kind of person do you look up to?
Good person.
If we can't
Smart.
participate, I'm going to start doing points for who's answering me.
Successful person.
A successful person,
Smart.
smart.
Someone who has what you want.
Say that again, Austin.
Someone who has what you want.
Someone who has what you want.
Close artist.
Yeah. Does he have a role model in this book?
No.
No.
What about Mr. Spencer? Why isn't Mr. Spencer a role model?
Because Holden doesn't like school.
Holden doesn't like school. Well, how did he? Yeah, how did he do in his class?
He
Failed.
failed.
He failed. How did Mr. Spencer take that?
Heartbroken.
Yeah, but did he do anything about it?
No.
No.
He didn't help him, right? He's like, you just flunked the assignment. See you later. Go out the door. That's fine. You flunked. Whatever.
Get out of here.
What if he had a teacher who actually cared?
Like Miss B?
He'd be in a different place, maybe.
Not trying to.
He'd probably apply himself. If he had someone getting on his case for failing, maybe he'd actually do okay. Do we know who his English teacher is? No, but we know he passed English, right? Yeah, Derek.
I wouldn't really say that his teacher didn't care, it's just his, I mean, every teacher has a different teaching method.
Mhm.
That's true.
That is
And
true.
even though, like, his teacher didn't help him pass, like, I mean, Mr. Lyons, he says pretty much, he's not, or when I was in his US history, he's not gonna dumb down the test
Right.
for the ones who don't wanna apply themselves or try.
Mm-hmm.
He'll even if he does, or every student does terrible on his test, as long as he thinks he's doing adequate and or what he should be covering, he doesn't care if he gets fired or not for having low scores. So,
Yeah, everyone's
and
different.
he's offered help like all the time to people, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Holden needed a role model, which he does, what kind of role model does he need?
A happy person.
A happy person? Patient person?
Intelligent.
Intelligent?
I feel like it needs to be like the opposite of him.
The opposite of him. Why would you say that?
Because usually, I mean, it sounds kind of stupid, but opposites kind of attract. So I feel like if he had somebody that was totally opposite of him, it might like rub off on him a little bit, and he might change his ways.
Yeah, maybe he changes ways.
That's
See,
bad.
doing so well now.
I'm very
Right now,
sorry.
you might as well try it all around. We obviously might get somewhere.
Yeah, we might get somewhere in life. We don't know. All right. Good. Let's look at page 132.
It's not
We're
like,
just asking your name first.
maybe.
I feel like it.
We're in the middle of the date with Sally Hayes, page 132.
It's hard to do.
Does someone want to start reading at the top of the page? Read what Holden says. Thank you.
Look, I said, here's my idea. I would like to get the hell out of here. Here's an idea. I know this guy in Greenwich Village. I can borrow his car for a couple of weeks. He used to go to the same school I did, and he still owes me $10. What we could do is tomorrow morning we could drive up to Massachusetts and Vermont and all around there. See, it's beautiful and hell as hell up there. It really is. I was getting excited as hell the more I thought of it. And I sort of reached over and shook old Sally's goddamn hand. What a goddamn fool I was. No kidding, I said. I had to put $180 in the bank. I could take it out when it opens in the morning. Then I could go down and get this guy's car. No kidding. We'll stay up there in the cabin camps and stuff like that till the dough runs out. Then when the dough runs out, I can get a job somewhere. We can live somewhere with a brook and all. And later on, we can get married or something. I could chop all our own wood in the wintertime. You know, honest to God, we could have a terrific time. What do you say? Come on, what do you say? Will you do it with me, please?
Thank you. So what is he asking Sally to do?
To run away.
Run away with him.
Yeah, run away with him. Let's go to the woods, pack up, get married.
It's kind of
Let's do
creepy.
it. Yeah, it is kind of creepy. But
Little
do they actually do it though?
No.
No.
No. So does
That huge
Holden
fight's dead.
does Holden really need a marriage?
No.
No.
No, he's not really ready for that, is he?
No.
He doesn't even like her.
He doesn't even like her.
He's lonely and he wants
He's lonely.
love.
He
He's
wants
the wrong
love.
head talking.
He's very lonely. So there's another guy that did this. He went to the woods a couple of years, lived on the pond, away from civilization. Let's just get away. I'm not going to pay my taxes. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit in my cabin and write my book. And I have a quote from him on the class blog, if you've seen it, the picture. The quote that says, "I went to the woods because I wish to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life." That's Henry David Thoreau. He's one of my favorite authors. And he went to the woods. And Holden's like, I want to go to the woods. But why would he want to go to the woods? What's the woods
Kind of get away.
good for? Yeah, getting away, it's quiet.
Good for thinking.
It's natural.
What else is the woods good for? Hiding. Yeah. It's different than New York, right? New York, there's all these people, all these distractions,
Active.
everything. Yeah, it's noisy.
It's very active.
The woods, you don't have anything bothering you. Nothing. It's just you, the trees, the grass, and that's it.
I
And
think
animals. There's no one bothering you though, right?
And dirt. No.
No one bothering you.
You have a free mind.
You have a free mind. You have a free mind. So Holden's like, that sounds pretty good.
I don't think he'd like it
You don't think he'd like it. Why wouldn't he like it?
because
Too
he's
quiet.
complaining that he's lonely now. So why would he like it when he's actually is lonely?
Yeah, he's kind of hypocritical a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah.
He's like, I kind of want to be by myself, but no, I really still want to have these relationships with people. Aren't we kind of like that?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes you want to be alone, but then sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with my friends. It's still okay.
I don't think he could live with himself.
You don't think he could live with himself? No?
He always takes out his anger on other people. So
His thoughts will get to him.
Yeah, his thoughts might get to him. His anger gets to him, right? We see that a couple of times where he's just like, screw the world. Screw the world. I'm going to end my life. I'm done. I'm done. Right? That's terrible. So, as we examine Holden's journey, what can we conclude about him wanting to live a deliberate life? What can we conclude about Holden? He's crazy? Is he really crazy?
No.
What's it really? But
Maybe he's actually really
He's lost? Maybe he's not crazy, maybe he's lost.
huge.
He's really sane, but he's
Looking for the ideal way to live. What's the ideal way to live?
How is
Happy?
depends.
Happy? Depends on the person, right?
He's just depressed.
Yeah. Everyone has a different view of what the ideal life is. Right? Everyone's different. It's the way we are. We're very different human beings. We're all individuals. Holden's an individual. Right? Would Holden really get a job? We talked about this in the last class. If we were to put Holden into a job, what kind of job do you think he'd be good at? Nothing around people.
Maybe a factory job.
Factory job. But when we know about Holden, what we know about him, what would he be good at? Is he good at anything? Talking.
Talking. What do you might be mad?
Like a psychologist, therapist, maybe?
Yeah, maybe he'd be good at asking people questions because he seems pretty good at that.
But would he lie? Would he
No.
give them false information?
A real estate agent. That's a good one.
He can talk his way out about it.
He can talk his way out of anything. Maybe he can talk anyone into doing anything. A lawyer?
Talk shows.
Talk shows?
I wouldn't trust him.
So when he says, I can get a job, I can do this, we can live on our own, I can make money.
He's only like 16, right?
He's only 16, right? He's only 16. He's not that old.
I feel like he's like way older than
He's like 12 and a half.
But he seems way older. He's trying to be way older,
He's like 12.
right?
What's his rush?
Yeah, he's in a rush. He's in a hurry to become an adult.
Not all that grand.
Why would he be in a hurry?
He wants to make his own decisions about everything.
He wants to make his own decisions because who's making the decisions for him?
Generally, his parents.
His parents.
And he doesn't like the decisions that they make for him.
He doesn't like the decisions that they make for him.
You could rest.
It's not good enough.
Can you relate?
All right, is everyone awake?
Yes.
Everyone awake? All right.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to go to the end of the chapter on page 134.
Page 134.
Yeah, just turn
Yeah.
page.
Turn 2 pages.
The end of the chapter. And we're going to go to the last paragraph. All right? Everyone should be there. All right? If you want to know the truth, I don't even know why I started all that stuff with her. I mean, not going somewhere to Massachusetts and Vermont and all. I probably would not have taken her even if she wanted to go with me. She wouldn't have been anybody to go with. The terrible part, though, is that I meant it when I asked her. That's the terrible part. Swear to God, I'm a madman. That's how he ends the chapter. I meant it when I asked Sally if we could go do this. I meant it. Does he really mean what he says?
No.
Does he mean what he says some of the time, though?
I'm sorry.
Some of the time? Yeah. She wouldn't have been anybody to go with, and why bother asking?
Because
Why
you have
bother?
I feel like she's just mad. He's just mad because he didn't end up getting his way.
He didn't end up getting his way. Why else would he bother asking? What's the point? It's not going to work anyway. He knows that. They're not really going to go do it.
just to see what she would say.
Just to see what she would say.
What she would do.
What she would do. Why does Holden keep doing this, though? Why does he keep trying to get people to do things with him, to talk with him. Why? Why bother?
Because he doesn't really have any friends.
He doesn't really have any friends.
Maybe he wants to see what it's like talking to people and actually getting to know them.
Yeah, maybe he actually wants a relationship, but he probably doesn't know how. Yeah,
Or just to see how far you can go with it.
see how far he can go with it. That's true. Sometimes he tries to push people's limits. He's pushing his parents' limits. But we don't really meet his parents, do we? We don't know a lot about them. They're very distant people. Why would Salinger do that?
To make us wonder.
Maybe. How come his parents never show up in the book? We hear about them, but they're never really there.
He doesn't really like them.
Doesn't
What
like
if he
them.
don't?
What if they really aren't there?
I don't
Like-
think they are. What
Maybe
if he's
they're-
like
Maybe they're non-existent.
by himself?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to live there again.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any. Maybe he ran away a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe he's lying to us. We don't know. But there's a deliberate reason why the parents aren't there. Salinger makes these choices in the book because it fits Holden, right? Kicked out of school, flunking. I'm the bad kid that nobody wants. Nobody wants. Okay? So his parents aren't ever there. Really sad. Would it be different if his parents were trying to find him?
Yeah.
Probably.
Mhm.
Would he actually go home with them if they were just to suddenly come in and show up? Why wouldn't he go home? Why wouldn't he go home?
You wouldn't want to have a big fight about
Because it's home in the first place.
why that dropped out of
Yeah,
school.
Richie, it's not like it's his home in the first place. What is home?
Home is what you make it.
Yeah, home is what you make of it. Home is where your heart is. Right? Home is, the sense of home is different for everybody. Right? Okay?
Feel a sense of belonging there. Home doesn't have really a sense of belonging.
He doesn't have belonging. Allie's gone. DB's gone. It's just him and Phoebe and the parents. Right? Him, Phoebe, and the parents. That's it. If we were to put Holden in this school, in this classroom,
Oh God.
what would he be like today? If we were to put him in today, what would he be like today?
Be grouchy.
Grouchy?
Angry.
What
Yeah,
would he be
maybe a
doing in the
down.
back corner? If he was in the back
Can
corner
I
of this
just lay
class,
down?
I like sleeping.
sleeping,
Got his iPod in.
his iPod, he'd have an iPod maybe,
Hide a cigarette somewhere.
hiding cigarettes somewhere.
Getting under the desk and smoking them.
Oh yeah, he used to really like that cigarettes.
Yeah,
It has a water bottle filled with scotch, Coke.
yeah, maybe,
Oh,
maybe. Do you think he'd be a little bit different as a student if he went to this school?
Yeah.
Why would he be different if he went to this school?
More people down to earth.
This girl's here.
More people down to earth.
Private school.
smaller,
It's smaller.
less. I would say less
Yeah, we're just the
educated.
average.
Average people.
Average kids.
Yeah.
We don't have cute suitcases.
He meets just average
basic
people,
needs.
right? He meets just average people, everyday people that are walking the streets of New York. Average people that don't have these high and mighty careers, you know, prostitutes, bar hoppers, average everyday persons. He's not looking for the wealthy people. What kind of background does Holden have?
It's a wealthy family.
A wealthy family, and how do we know that?
His
His
father.
dad.
Dad's an
Schools
attorney.
he goes to?
the schools he goes to, his
His pop-
parents,
yeah,
His
they
suitcases.
send him money.
his suitcases, his grandma gives him all this money every birthday, even when she forgets.
Dad, an attorney
He got
for
like
big
3 times
business.
a year, didn't
Yeah, his dad's a what?
An attorney for big business.
An attorney. So he comes from this well-off family, this wealthy family, but then he just goes down to the alleyways and bars and average people.
Maybe he thinks he like can't compete with how his family is.
Maybe that's what he sort of means is like an average, like, there's a scenery, like, more than an average town, not like the high class. Maybe he's just he's himself, maybe just more middle class than his family.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't fit in with the high-class system. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's why he did this. I don't fit in with them, so why bother going back to them? What's the point? I'm just going to be sent to another boarding school, another prep school.
Cause he like, I feel like he also feels like he knows what they're gonna do. Like, well, even if he like won't even care.
Yeah, he won't even care. So what do we think he's going to do next? What's he going to do next? Knowing
Say-
who Holden is,
He might visit Jane.
he might visit Jane.
But then again, he might not be in the mood. So
He might not be in the mood. He's kind of going back and forth. What else might he do? He might look for Phoebe. What would happen if you were to meet up with Phoebe?
yeah.
Would Phoebe tell the parents?
Yeah.
She seems like the good kid. Does the right thing.
Isn't it at one point didn't he call her a tattletale?
Say it again.
At one point didn't he call her a tattletale and say that she told on him about everything?
Yeah, she is a bit of a tattletale. All right. Read chapters 18 through 20.